Okay, I'm practicing some Java and using the command prompt to run it and see the output. But I was able to take my Notepad++ and enlarge my text nicely. And I wanted to do the same thing for my command prompt output. So I found this www.tomshardware.com an answer. And what he says is, let's see, for anyone else interested, when you open the command, right click on its window at the command icon right up here, and then go to Properties and click Font. Just change the window size. It will also affect the font size. So if you click here to the 4 by 6, you see the small window, and then you look at the font. 6 by 8, it gets a little larger. 8 by 8, thicker. 16 by 8 looks pretty chunky. 5 by 12 looks like it's smaller. 7 by 12, 8 by 12, 16 by 12. 12 by 16 looks kind of nice and clear. But each one of these gives us a slightly different, that looks really nice and clear, but I don't know how huge this is going to be. So I'm going to hit OK for this big clear one. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Let me try another one. The 12 by 16. I don't know which one I like best, but at least I know how to do it now. So there is a solution, so good deal. I think I'm going to stick with that. Whoops. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. I wanted the first one I tried. Huh. It looks different, but I think I like this one better. Okay, so that's it for this little snippet. I want to show you. Let me exit this. Okay. Let me exit this. I'm going to get rid of this video that I just did because I don't want it. I'm going to get rid of these two class files because I want to redo this video that I'm throwing away right now. All right. I've got two classes here. I could rip them apart to show you side by side. Okay. Now this one I want bigger. Obviously this is little. I don't know why. So I can hold in my control and use my scroll wheel up to make this bigger too. That looks about the same. All right, anyhow, this is our main class, and this is a note. These two forward slashes let us create our own personal note that Java's not going to read, it's going to ignore, and the coding goes in green. This is the main class, and it's called TapeDeck.Java, and this is the test class because it has the public static void main string args execution statement in it that turns the program on. This is going to be the test class. Now I got this again from my college book that I bought, Head First Java, when I was taking Java in school. You can get it at the library, you can buy it Amazon, internet, bookstore, what have you. This is still in chapter 2. It's at the end of chapter 2. We're going to create a class, the main class. We start off with the keyword class, and we're going to call it TapeDeck. And we've got this red curly brace here and the ending right here. And I gave myself a note that this curly brace is the end of class TapeDeck. We're going to create an attribute here. Boolean can record equals false. So the name, the variable, if you will, is can record. It is of Boolean data type, which means it's got to be true or false. It's nothing else. It's a Boolean value is only true or false. And it's set to false in the beginning of the class. Then from here to here, this is a method. And then we've got a second method right here. So that's all that this class has. It's got an attribute, something that we know about the tape deck, that it can record and it's set to false. And then it's got two methods, play tape and record tape, and they're created the same way. You start off with the keyword void, then the method name, play tape, an empty parentheses, and then we've got our curly braces that go from here to here. And the only thing that play tape method does is it uses system.out.println to spit out the words, and they're in double quotes. It's just a string, tape playing now, ... So when this class over here tests it, when it goes to play tape, then in our command prompt output window, it's going to just say tape playing now. We also have a second method right here. Starts off with the keyword void. This one has a different name. It's record tape. It also has the empty parentheses, and in its curly braces, it uses system.out.println to spit the words out, and their words are tape recording now. So those are the two methods. Now, there's the end of that method, the end of that method, and the end of class TapeDeck. Here's our tester class. It's going to test how well this works. So we again start it with the keyword class. We're going to give it the name TapeDeckTest so that we remind ourselves what this is for. And there's the beginning curly brace and the end curly brace, and class TapeDeckTest. Here's that switch, like the power switch. It says public static void main string args, and that goes from this curly brace all the way to here. And again, I gave myself a note so that every time I seen an ending curly brace, I knew what it belonged to. End method main. So we've got a variable here, t, and we're using the dot operator, and we are taking that can record, which is this variable up here, and we're setting it to true. Originally it's set to false, but here we're going to flip the switch and set it to true. And then we're going to take this t and the dot operator, and we're going to call play tape. So play tape is this method, and if this is correct, then when we run it in Java, we're going to see the word tape playing now. Then here we have an if condition. If what's in these parentheses is true, if t.can record equals true, which we actually set it to true up here, so it will be true. If that's true, then what's going to happen in these curly braces will execute. That is t.record tape. So that will call this method. And then the next set of words, tape recording now, will play. So here, t.playTape is going to give us these words in the output window, tape playing now, and this right here is going to output tape recording now. And there's the end of the if statement, there's the end of the method main, and here's the end of the class TapeDeckTest. Well, I'll tell you now, if you haven't already realized it, there is an error in this tester code, but I'm going to run it because I want you to see what the error looks like. So I'm going to go to Start, I'm going to go to Run. I'm running Windows 7 now, not Windows XP like I had before. CMD is already typed for me. I'm going to click OK. Now this is my big command window. Users Home. I have my two files right here, TapeDeck.java and TapeDeckTest.java. on my desktop, so I have to have my directory set there. So you type in the command window CD for change directory, and then the word desktop, and then hit enter. Okay, so now I have the path where I need to be, my path that's going to take me to these files. The first thing I want to do is I want to compile these Java files, and if everything is typed correctly in both of these, then I will get another path with no errors. If something is wrong, then it's going to give me a list of errors. Well, I can tell you right now, something is wrong, so I am going to get a list of errors, but I just want to show you what it looks like. Java C, it means Java compile, and what we're going to compile between picking, are we going to compile this one or are we going to compile this one? We're going to compile this one because it's got that execution statement, public static void main string args, in it. This is the switch, this is the turn on switch for this whole program. So that's what we're going to compile, Java C and this name right here plus the Java extension. So we got Java C, TapeDeckTest.java, and hit the enter button. and it's thinking about what we're doing, and we have errors. So let's take a peek at the errors. Okay, TapeDeckTest.java, which it's talking about this file, and the 7 means it's talking about line 7. Line 7 is this line right here, right there. It says cannot find symbol T, and it's got a little arrow pointing to T. Cannot find symbol T dot can record equals true. Well, the reason it cannot find it, and it also shows it here, location TapeDeck test Java 8, so it's saying there's also an error here. This next one, TapeDeckTest.java 10, error is also here, and it's saying the same thing, that it cannot find symbol and it's pointing to the T. Also, the last error is 11, so it's saying that there's an error there, and cannot find symbol T.record tape. So it's basically complaining about all these T's. Well, the reason it's complaining about all those T's is because we did not properly create this object as this T variable as an object of the TapeDeck class. So Java's going, okay, big deal, T, what does T belong to? What is T trying to do? What class is T trying to grab information from? So the way we fix that is we take the name of our main class here, TapeDeck, spelled correctly, TapeDeck T, because that's the object name that we gave it down here. We just didn't create it as an object of this class. TapeDeck T equals new, TapeDeck. And then you give it empty parentheses and a semicolon. This statement right here is all we needed to make this thing run. So I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to go back down here to my command prompt. I'm going to click my arrow up button so that I don't have to retype java c TapeDeckTest.java. It's going to remember any previous commands as long as this window's been open. And then I'm going to hit enter. It's thinking again. Now it's going to recompile. Now since I fixed that error right there and correctly created my T, then it gives me my path again, and now it's waiting for the next instruction. Well, if you noticed, we as soon as this compiled cleanly, we ended up with 2 more files over here. We started off with TapeDeck.java and TapeDeckTest.java, and when it compiles cleanly, it creates TapeDeckTest, TapeDeckTest.class and TapeDeck.class. So now we have a pair, a Java with its class and another Java with its class. So now we are going to run. We're not going to say Java C, we're just going to say Java, and we're not going to say TapeDeckTest.java, we're just going to say TapeDeckTest. Because remember, we want to run the file that has this public static void main string args execution statement. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter, and if everything's correct, and it is, we have tape playing now, ... tape recording now, ... So everything compiled cleanly. I showed you how we made the mistake of not creating the object of the class correctly, and how by fixing it with this statement right here, we were able to correctly compile, and we got our 2 brand new files, so that now we have a total of 4, and I showed you the output that worked correctly. So I'm going to exit out of my command prompt. I will go over this one more time. We already went over this, but let's go over the test class again with all the correct. Class, TapeDeck Test. Public static void main string args. TapeDeck T equals new TapeDeck, and now that we have correctly created T as an object of this class, we can use T with the dot operator, and that will allow us to call this variable right here and use it, to change it, to reassign it, to rename it, to reset it. Originally it was set to false, but now we can take it and we can set it to true. Then we can use that T with the dot operator and call the play tape method. So here we're calling this play tape method, and the words tape playing now will spit out, which I showed you. And here we've got the if condition. T dot can record equals true. Well, since we've actually created it properly here and we were able to set it or reset it from false to true, then T dot can record equals true is a true statement. So that means T dot is able to pull out the record tape method. T dot record tape. So the T dot record tape method is going to system.out.println the words tape recording now. And that is the end of the if statement, and that's the end of the main, and that's the end of this little video for Java.